for an original sound.
Hey guys, welcome back to Call of Cthulhu, the Nameless Bookstore. The Shambler turned out to be very much more than an artwork painted by Sarah Hawkins, as the huge creature came out of the painting to attack Pierce. After a hard fight, the detective managed to send it back into the painting. He later discovered that the dagger he used to repel the creature had been sold to Sanders by a man named Algernon Drake, owner of the Nameless Bookstore. Pierce decided to pay the library a visit. That won't do, it's not a library. Hello?
Where's the bookseller? Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It's the work that laid the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning of this century.
This practical work, written by Sigmund Freud for psychologists, describes the techniques and analytical interpretation of dreams. The analysis must follow several rules, especially that of free association, a principle announced by Freud at the end of the 19th century. It treats dreams as the way of revealing buried desires. I cannot believe that this theory is applicable to my nightmares. Isn't most of Freud's work actually being thrown out nowadays?
Another volume of the Reverend's wife's diary.
The pastor declared himself to be a prophet. He renounced God and worshipped a strange pagan entity with a monstrous appearance. His wife tried to reason with her husband, but in vain. He was convinced that he must listen to the voice in his head because it holds the truth. Wow. Seems like we're gonna find something here. History of Darkwater, Volume 4. In the 19th century, as the American whaling industry reached its peak in the rest of the world, whales gradually disappeared from the waters surrounding Darkwater. This phenomenon appears even more mysterious because up till then the region was a favored refuge for... I'm too tired for this. In 1847, after months in pursuit, the Scylla returns to port with a gigantic creature on board. Its crew asserted that the sea monster had eaten all the disappeared whales. After a night of furious combat, the survivors managed to drag the beast onto the whaling ship. So it wasn't a whale that they found, it was some kind of monstrous creature. That's a little strange. History of Darkwater, Volume 2. A Puritan colony led by Revered John Wickwood settled on the island during the 17th century. They named the island Darkwater because of the dark shade of the sea. They believed it was because of the peculiar color of the rocks surrounding the island. They erected the first buildings, among which were the Hawkins Manor, the church, and the cemetery. The rare documents and handwritten notes they left spoke of nightmares and deviant behaviors. They disappeared at the beginning of the 18th century. Well, we're definitely finding the history. Anything else over here? That's an odd thing to have here. Seem to like to study ancient things. And get another one of those weird lamps. Let's see.
What happened here? Let's start over. Where did they break blood? Seemed like amateur work.
Somebody who didn't know what they were doing.
Someone tall left this footprint. A man, probably. This burglar seems to be rather clumsy.
Definitely. They didn't bother going over there. They just went this way.
What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene? What killed all these animals?
That's very strange.
What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work?
Uh-oh.
What the... Charles Hawkins? Looks like the symbol rejected Hawkins. What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess?
She was trying to stop something.
Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe. Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case. Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills? What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
This key that bears the Elder's sign is the only one able to protect your psyche. It is in the form of a cylindrical medallion, hanging at the end of a heavy chain. Hundreds of years ago, the star and the branch, whose purpose is to push back the forces of the great old ones, were engraved at its center. Everything points to it being Charles Hawkins that tore it from the last owner, an Egyptian antique dealer. In the press cuttings that mention the misdemeanor, the date of the robbery coincides with the last of the Hawkins trips to the Cairo. It remains to be seen whether he knows of the true purpose of the artifact. Try to find it. Key of the Rechle file. Let's see. Handbook, Anatomy and Discussion, Book 1. The least that can be said about this book is that its title is well conceived. The illustrations of the human anatomy and discussion methods presented are illustrated in great detail. You have to have a strong heart or the detachment proper to doctors to consult its pages. Oh wow, we're definitely finding the medical books.
Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
Alright, let's see if we can do it. The page seems to be hidden here. It is possible to read. If somebody finds these memoirs, there will be no doubt that I am in serious trouble. My last and only hope is that my body and bones are still in this plane of reality, in order that they be recovered and burned. The funeral urn must be given to my dear mother if she is still of this world. The following message of the capital importance. Whoever reads these lines and demonstrates acuity as sharp as mine can hope to gain access to my most precious possessions. It lies within my safe, and the clues to the combination are to be found in 3 cylinders, each hidden where life and study combine in the Greek worlds. Each cylinder is numbered, even if, as the celebrated author says, order is the pleasure of reason, but disorder is the delight of the imagination. Indeed, despite my preference of organized chaos, I must admit that reason usually prevails in the end. If by chance a person, or should I say a genius, was to match my intellect and find the combinations of the safe, I would ask that they deliver its contents into the safekeeping of my friend and colleague, Professor Armitage of Miskatonic University. The content of the safe is not only a vast digest of knowledge, but also a weapon that is far too dangerous for it to fall into the wrong hands. I hope that you will be able to appreciate the danger that this represents, and that you will act accordingly. In any event, I will neither be there to guide nor to suffer from your actions. In other words, enjoy messing up. I won't be there. So we have to figure this out, which means we have to search around a little. So, Greek. So we have to look for something Greek. Alright.
Arkham editions. Never heard of them.
Arkham Anthology, Volume 3, Things That Should Not Be. A collection of essays on American folklore and urban legends written by Albert Wilmar, a professor at Miskatonic University. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology, a luxurious collection of treatises and works on historicism and supernatural.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
An ancient Frisian manuscript translated by William R. Sandbach. The text claims that, in the distant past, Europe and other continents were controlled by the mothers of this people, and, moreover, that our alphabet is derived from the Frisian language. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
Written by nope, not even going to try it. Translated by Nathan C. Copulus. This collection of texts on different beliefs was written by a legendary philosopher. It includes a translation of the Emerald Tablet, a popular text among 16th century alchemists. This volume is
Arkham Editions. Never heard of them.
Opera in 8 Acts by Benvenuto Citte Bragaria, an infamous lyrical works published in Italy in 1768. It is said that the opera was performed only once, resulting in an audience riot that left several dead and missing.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
Book of Spells, supposedly written by the legendary King Solomon. It contains various rituals of invocation and rituals of curse. Cool.
Another volume by Arkham
A
Editions.
collection of long-term astrological predictions written in verse. Written by Nostradamus. I want the Arkham collection.
Arkham Editions. Never heard of them.
A collection of poems by Edward Pickman Derby. Also known as the Nightmare Lyrics, this collection of poems was sensationally received when first published in 1908. Derby was only 18 years old. Can I just read the damn things?
How many volumes are there in this collection?
Book of key text by... Okay, I think we've looked at all the ones there. So you suddenly have the Arkham collection scattered around. You know,
Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them.
So we have 2. Handbook on Anatomy and Dissection. A precise and illustrated with so much detail as the first volume. Yep. As the focus is on healing surgeries specific to malformations and motor disorders. Well, at least that's starting to go up. That's good. So that's 2 cylinders.
The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's Theosophical movement. Its followers place truth on the same footing as a religion.
These Tibetan writings are the origin of... Yeah. You can read it. Where are you? First cylinder. That looks like there should have been a cylinder in there. Doesn't look like I can find the other cylinder.
A kind of chalice.
This goblet seems to be very ancient. It seems to be made of gold and decorated with real precious stones. Do the rubies and sapphires make up a specific motif? Huh. Anything I'm missing so far?
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
So, red stones.
The chalice of knowledge.
Five red stones. Let me see.
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny.
A chessboard.
The queen has little protection.
So, let's see.
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny.
So,
Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
9. Azoth and others. Go back and do that one again.
Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
Drake talked about a particular volume.
Or,
So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message.
but what would this one mean?
What did Drake say about this collection?
What was it about that collection?
Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
Drake talked about a particular volume.
This was the volume. There's nothing written on it, though.
So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message. What did Drake say about this collection?
I'll figure it out. We've got 2 of them, which would be 5. Not sure which way it wants me to go. No, that one, then. I switch between? I'm an idiot. There we go. 3. Oops. Got it. 9. That wouldn't should have been an obvious one. Well, guys, with that, looks like we'll be going back to the Institute. Oh, heck, let's do a bit of a longer episode. Chapter 8, Riverside Institute. The nameless bookstore. Pierce traced the trail of an attempted burglary. He discovered that Charles Hawkins was behind the attempt. Pierce opened the bookseller's safe to find what the letter and Sarah Hawkins had hidden there. A book covered in human skin. Light inside, irresistible, attracted the detective. When he opened it, his mind was projected into another body. Question is, whose body was we projected into? That's going to be the most important part, isn't it?
Dr. Colden, this man's condition is deteriorating.
What says Dr. Fuller? It's his patient, after all.
He's busy with Captain Fitzroy. He specifically asked us not to bother him when that's the case.
Oh, of course. I'll see what I can do. Mr. Blake, can you hear me? I'm Dr. Colden. We'll take care of you.
There's nothing we can do. I tried talking to him. He's catatonic.
Regarding the patient.
What can you tell me about him?
He was highly agitated an hour ago. We were about to tie him down when he fell asleep. 10 minutes ago, he curled up into a fetal position. I thought he was waking up, but no.
Must see his medical file. Tell me about his symptoms. Where is he from?
Show me his file.
That's not possible.
Don't tell me Dr. Fuller has taken this file as well. We need it.
That's why I called you. This man's ailment has been hidden from us.
Come on now. What was he treated for?
An intoxication, I was told. After inhaling chemicals.
What are his symptoms?
His temperature has been going down. His skin losing its color. His body rigid. I closed his eyes myself. They were glassing over. I didn't want them to dry out, and I couldn't bear to look at the expression on his face.
You did well. Don't worry. Let's stay professional, if you will. I don't recognize him. Did he just arrive on the island?
He said he worked on the docks, but not with Captain Fitzroy. I think he works for Ms. Baker.
Who?
You know, the woman at the head of their gang. They call her Cat.
Oh, I see.
Do you have other questions?
That'll do for the time being.
Any idea what this man might be undergoing?
Did you inject him with a tranquilizer?
No, Doctor. Not me, not anyone. Our stock is empty, yet again.
Again? But there was enough for the whole island.
More and more people are suffering from insomnia. We can't refuse to help.
Of course.
Any idea what this man might be undergoing?
Very well. I'll examine him. 30-year-old subject. Severe hypothermia. Erythematous papules around the eyes and eardrums. Necrosed palpebral tissue. Lord, this smell. Severe malnutrition. Swollen abdomen with traces of petechia. Doesn't seem like an edema. Slight protuberances seem to indicate the presence of a foreign body. His skin shows abnormal loss of color and seems dried out. He's totally dehydrated. His fingertips and toes seem to feature a slight ring under the skin, tender at the touch, slightly sticky.
So, Doctor, an opinion?
I'm not sure I have the necessary knowledge to treat this man.
Don't say that. You're our most worthy doctor after Dr. Fuller.
Some of his symptoms are beyond my comprehension.
What did you find?
State of his limbs are worrisome.
I see signs of hypodermoclysis, but he's still dehydrated. When was his last IV?
He's constantly under perfusion. I've even gone beyond the recommended dose to no avail. And you won't believe me, but when we bathed him earlier...
He seemed to feel better?
Yes. Like he needs an aquarium, not a perfusion. But that doesn't explain his condition.
It does a little.
In spite of the muscle
Beards and
contractions, his arms seem limp.
Yes. They can't have decalcified, not at this rate.
And yet, if there is a bone in this arm, it's softer than that of a newborn baby. What about his cranium?
It's soft at the touch. It does seem like the skull of a baby.
Look at these sticky rings growing at his fingertips. What can be happening?
I'm sure you'll find an explanation. You have to.
Did you examine his abdomen? It would seem there's something inside.
He hasn't eaten in days. Are you certain it's not an edema?
No. Can't you recognize an edema? Pushing with your finger won't leave a trace. And look at these bumps.
It's not like he could be pregnant.
Whatever it is, this man has something inside him that shouldn't be there. We should operate on him at once.
Dr. Fuller said not to worry, that the edema would go away by itself.
You know, I'm not sure Dr. Fuller is telling the truth. I almost don't believe it myself, but these symptoms are not those usually associated with the human species.
What do you mean? Don't tell me you believe in extraterrestrials.
No. This poor man is from our world, all right. But his body is undergoing unnatural mutations. And this transformation is killing him. His body simply can't cope.
Where could he have gotten such an infection?
I pray that it's not here.
Dr. Colden, may I know what you're doing to my patient?
What I'm doing? How about what you've done to him?
Let us calm down, my dear Marie. I don't appreciate your tone, nor your insinuations. I've done to him what I do to all my patients. Provide him with the best available care.
Your imagination is without limit. It's your homemade drug again, is it not? Those people are not your guinea pigs.
There, there. What have you seen to put you in such a state?
His symptoms are worrisome. I've never seen anything like this. You're turning him into a monster.
I've seen suction cups on his fingers, his falling body temperature, his dehydration. Had I only read the report, you know what I would have concluded, Doctor.
Do I? Tell me anyway. I'm curious.
He's no longer human. These are the attributes of an animal.
Fascinating. An animal, you say? Could you be more precise? Cephalopod, perhaps?
This amuses you.
Your reaction does. I know your thirst for knowledge, Doctor. It's your innocent worries for this man that have you overreacting.
For this man, and the others whose medical files you've been hiding.
I have to protect my discovery. These people owe me their life, but the world isn't ready yet. It will be, in time.
I will not let you do this.
You disappoint me, Marie, but I still have hope you'll one day share my point of view. In the meantime, take care of your own patients and try not to forget who you're dealing with.
What? Hey!
Was that a threat? What did he mean?
It was a warning. Dr. Fuller is this institution's founder and one of our profession's most influential voices. My word is of no weight against his. If I continue to protest, I will only ruin my reputation and career.
It's scandalous. Can't we do anything? Is there no evidence of his crimes?
Hidden files of proof. Nobody mentioned crimes for now.
Oh, that evidence exists. I'm sure of it. I need to find the missing medical files.
And where would you find those? In his office? What if you get caught?
I'd rather not think about that. I'm counting on your discretion.
Of course, Doctor. You can count on me. I'll keep Mum.
I don't trust her.
This place draws you in and never lets you go.
Yeah, I could see that, honestly. So let's do some exploration,
No,
shall
you're
we?
pulling my leg. I'm not joking. I saw the schedule. She's alone in the bathroom again. And she still says nothing to that old witch, Donovan.
Oh, listen to the way you talk, you naughty girl. And the answer is no. You can imagine that she doesn't dare say a thing. That silly goose lets herself be trodden on.
Oh well, at least we won't have to clean for a while.
And just wait and see the next time the water's cut off. It's a real show.
That's pretty bitchy of you two.
Dr. Colden?
Watch out for the water, Doctor.
Alrighty. See if there's anything we can use. Medicine and Secret Sciences. This very interesting book, aimed at a wide public, demonstrates how non-recognized sciences have influenced modern medicine. Magnetism, grandmother's secrets, Chinese acupuncture, hypnosis, herbal medicines, alchemy, and many others have contributed to a certain extent to the enrichment of science at the beginning of this century. I know you want me to go into Fuller's office, but I'm gonna explore first.
Gentlemen, may I help you?
We're waiting on news regarding our mother, Maureen Harding. She came in with a kidney problem, but we haven't heard anything since.
I'm sorry. Dr. Fuller is a very busy man.
Well, is there anyone else who can tell us what's going on?
She's our only family, you know? And we can't even see her medical file.
Don't worry. I'm aware our institution is not always welcoming. But your mother is in good hands. I'll tend to her myself, and keep you informed at once. Would that suit you?
Well, that sure sounds great to us, Doctor. Thank you.
But those are just words, so we're not budging.
Very well. At least I'll know where to find you.
Yeah, let's go and find their mother.
Doctor, please. My chest. Oh.
His perfusion of a semi-physiological solution doesn't seem to work. He's undergoing a ventricular fibrillation. Nurse? Deborah, come and help me, please. His potassium level is too high. Replace it with 2% glucose solution with insulin, calcium, and sodium bicarbonate.
I'll tend to it right away.
Thank you. He's in your hands.
Alright, so let's find their mother.
He broke his back in an accident down by the docks.
Ah, the whaling station. What's wrong with me?
What are you talking about?
Doctor, that you?
Yes, it's Dr. Colden. Tell me what happened.
It's the old whaling station. See?
The one that hides the smuggling business.
Oh no, not them. They don't go on that side of the island. Everyone in his place. The captain on one side, Cat on the other, and me. Well, I've been to the whaling station, I have.
What did you see there?
Nothing. Nothing at all. The floor was all rotten and I fell straight through.
And that's how you broke your back?
Perhaps. No idea. Passed out.
Seems like something else might have happened.
Ah, so there's Harding. She's still sleeping. Given her file, a nephrectomy would have been inevitable. But Fuller was able to save her kidney.
So he was able to save her kidney. That's a little strange, but at least we can tell her, her kids that she's fine. They'll be happy about that.
So, Doctor, have you been able to examine our mother?
I've tended to her, and I have good news. Her blood analysis is reassuring. Her kidneys are as new.
Are you talking about the same person? This is miraculous.
She's still recovering, but you may speak to her upon her awakening.
Oh, thank you so much, Doctor. We'll wait for her to wake up. We've been here since this morning, so it won't make a difference.
Alright. At least you guys get to be happy. But that does beg the question, how did her kidneys get
Patients and hospital personnel eat the same food.
Oh, that's fair at least. At least everyone's eating the same food.
Dr. Colden?
I'll just sleep a bit more.
His back's broken. It's never going to be able to...
Why did nobody tell me about her admission?
Irene Sanders. The file describes the state in which Irene Sanders entered the Riverside Institute, as well as the treatment administered to her. Fuller added a handwritten note. He recommends to take her down to the psychiatric wing in order to provide her with the quiet rest that she needs.
Mrs. Sanders?
That's not good. No, you won't be waking up, lady. Come on, we know she won't be.
Intoxication from breathing organic vapors.
Witness, as his clothes go through his body, through magic, dark, dark magic, or glitchiness, pure glitchiness. So I don't know if actually doing these kinds of things actually do help people.
What is the boiler room key doing here? The key to the boiler room. Not where I expected to find it. The key to the boiler room. Not where I expected to find it.
Okay, apparently you won't take the dang key, okay.
Another insomniac. I should find the cause for such a widespread trouble.
Drugs? Drugs would probably help. Oh no, they're already giving him drugs. Is that blood on your pillow?
Dr. Colden, here you are at last. This patient was again brought up to the psychiatric wing. We've been following the treatment you prescribed, but the dysgeusia persists and he's lost a great deal of weight. We haven't been able to move him. The stress makes him hyperallergic.
Sir, I am going to examine you. Do you understand? Inject him with a dose of pentobarbital, intramuscular, so that I can conduct the clinical examination.
Okay.
He bit his lips so much, they're still bleeding. White froth, evidently because of such drooling. His binds left bloody wounds.
So, Doctor, what should we do with this patient?
Don't take him down there. Keep care of his wounds. I don't know where more we can do. This patient has been mistreated.
Those basement brutes tied him up too tight and now he's hurt.
I keep trying to heal his wounds, but he reopens them.
Do you have a diploma as a nurse?
Excuse me?
So take care of this man.
It's, You're not going to be able to tie him down, though, because he's already hurt in those spots. So being a bitch to the nurse probably isn't the best reaction you can do. Just saying.
It's a quiet little town. Days go by, steady as ever. I wanted more for myself, but...
Hey, you know what? Fair is fair.
I don't get why they have us waiting so long. Almost no patients here.
Ethan,
Marie,
what are you doing here?
I'm waiting for my medication, of course. Why?
We already talked about that.
You're not here for treatment, right?
Am I so obvious?
Only to me. I know you worry about me.
I trust you. I'm happy to see you.
Me too, Ethan. Is that all?
Well, there might be something else. I'm not sure.
Tell me.
I have nightmares. They keep me awake every night. It seems stupid, I know, but they're terrible.
Actually, you're not the only one.
No. No one has ever seen the things I see. It's like I'm turning mad.
So many people have this affliction. It's like an epidemic.
Do you think it might be related to Fuller's work?
I don't know yet, but I will figure all this out. Everyone in Darkwater is suffering from nightmares.
Really?
We don't have any medication left.
Oh, there's no excuse then. I should let you work.
Take care, Ethan.
You too, Marie.
Aww. Looks like those two really care about each other.
Is everything all right, Ethan?
Yeah, I know I should go.
I will work until late.
Oh. All right.
Aww, come on.
Where did my fiancée go? I hope those nutcases will stop burdening her with work.
Okay.
Dr. Colden. Do you want something?
Yeah, but he won't talk to me, so no. Let's try going this way.
In theory, this is where we hang the key to the boiler room.
Oh, so now we can look for the boiler room key. Oh, we can't talk to him. Can't talk to you.
The operating room is never accessible after an operation. Let's hope I can go through the administration office.
Let's see. Another book, but it doesn't affect us right now, unfortunately. So now we have this power.
Everybody says it. She's a witch.
I have little time for you, Doctor. You'll find out that it's not only the doctors who have things to do. Wait a minute. Where do you think you're going?
Don't you have a job to do,
Dr.
lady?
Colden.
Mrs. Donovan.
Nobody goes into Dr. Fuller's office. But rest assured, I'll tell him you came by.
That won't be necessary. Thank you.
I will tell him, nonetheless.
You, lady, are going to be an issue that we're going to have to take care of next time. So thank you guys for joining me for the Call of Cthulhu. Don't forget to leave some love for this video. And if you want to see these videos before anybody else, well, Patreon has a new reward. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.